Hi, everyone, and welcome to a very special day here, a very special event. It's fantastic to see so many of you watching live. We are going to be getting started in just a moment, but as ever, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know which language you're learning, and we will be having a chat a little bit later on. There are lots of very exciting things to tell you about today, but we're just getting everything ready at the moment. So I'll be back with you very soon. It is so great to see so many comments and so many people saying hello. We are really excited about what's coming up today. There are lots of very interesting things that we're going to be talking about. And hopefully everything will go according to plan. The technical side of things is pretty complicated today, but hopefully everything will go swimmingly, as they say. Now, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know which language you're learning. You're presumably a coffee break learner if you've turned up here. And I am really looking forward to sharing all our news with you today. We'll be back very soon to get started on today's event. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this special event. My name is Mark Pendleton, and I'm the founder of Coffee Break Languages. I'm delighted to be here today, and I'm really excited to be sharing our latest Coffee Break news. Now, this is a live event, and things can go wrong, but hopefully everything will go smoothly. As ever, let us know in the comments where you're watching from, which language you're learning, and your responses to the announcements that we make. We'll be focusing on these announcements to begin with, and then there will be some time for Q&A afterwards. Now, before we start looking forward to the coming months and to our developments for 2020, let's take a bit of a look back at what's happened over the past year. It's been an incredibly busy and exciting year for us. We've been creating new content, growing the company, and building new facilities where we can create more of the Coffee Break content that you love. Our team has grown, and you'll be meeting some of my colleagues today as part of this event. In the last year alone, we've seen over 31 million downloads or streams of our language lessons through our podcasts. That's 85,000 free language lessons delivered to learners around the world every single day. It's incredibly important to us to be able to share our love of language learning with a worldwide audience, and we'll be continuing to provide free lessons through our podcasts as we move forward. A hugely important part of language learning is developing your knowledge of the cultures associated with the places where the language that you're learning is spoken. With this in mind, we introduced our Coffee Break magazine courses at the beginning of the year. And so far, our Coffee Break Italian, French and German magazines have provided new materials for intermediate learners to build their knowledge of the language and their cultural knowledge. We've covered a huge range of topics so far, from music and literature to people, places and traditions. And of course, in every episode of the magazine, our focus is on helping the learner understand not just what the content means, but how the vocabulary and grammar can then be reused, helping you say what you want to say and improve your own mastery of the language. Over on the Coffee Break Academy, where we host our premium courses, we've been enhancing our courses and adding new help documentation. We've also introduced a brand new course, the Coffee Break Copilot, which helps you take your first steps with a new language. The Copilot course is proving popular with new coffee breakers, learners coming to the language for the first time, and it's the perfect accompaniment to our Season 1 courses. Now, earlier this year, we introduced the Coffee Break Catch-Up, a regular live broadcast which allows us to engage with the Coffee Break community and interact with language learners around the world. This is the perfect way to share our latest lessons with you and to have some fascinating discussions about a whole range of language learning topics where you can participate and share your thoughts. We've talked about many things. We've talked about learning more than one language at a time, the origins of languages, etymology, your favourite Netflix shows for language learning, and even what makes a great teacher. Now, the full series of catch-up videos are available on our website and our YouTube channel, so feel free to go back and watch some of our previous episodes. And don't forget to join us for our next catch-up. In fact, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and that way you'll be notified whenever we publish new content. As you may have heard me say once or twice, we like to help you turn your downtime into your do time, providing the content which you can use in the time you have available. And one of the main ways we do this is through social media. I'd like to introduce my colleague Flora to tell you more about this now.
First and foremost, we'd like to say a huge thank you to the entire Coffee Break community. You take time every single week to share your learning by engaging with us on social media and joining the conversation. It's great to read your comments and feedback. We really appreciate them, and we do read every single message. We hope our posts on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays on the Coffee Break French, Spanish, Italian and German Facebook pages help to complement your other learning, and that they give you additional practice in vocabulary and grammar and help you develop your knowledge of the countries where the language you're learning is spoken. We also share all our new podcast episodes and highlights from our huge library of lessons on Twitter regularly. So make sure you're following us. We have Twitter accounts for each language as well as our main account. Every time Monday comes around, it's the start of a new week of language learning, and we help you start the week in a positive way with our Motivation Monday posts across all of our social networks. Many of you already share your weekly goals on Instagram, and we love reading your language learning stories there. We also share language learning content on Instagram. So not only do you have something to think about in the language you're learning while on your commute, for example, but it's a chance to meet some of the Coffee Break Languages team in our behind the scenes photos. It's also fantastic to know that the Coffee Break community is constantly growing. More and more language learners are enjoying our Facebook posts, and we've just reached 10,000 followers on Instagram. It's fantastic to know that you find the mini language lessons and the news we publish here useful during your downtime. We're always looking at new and innovative ways to help you practice your language skills in the time you have available, and we're looking forward to continuing to do so in the months and years to come.
Thanks, Flora. It's also important to mention another social network, LinkedIn, where we're building a presence with regular posts aimed at people learning languages in a business context. Now, this is an area of development for us, so if you're on LinkedIn, make sure you join us there too. Many members of the Coffee Break team have been or are still involved in the world of education and teaching either in schools or at university level. For this reason, we're very committed to giving back to learners in some way. Over the past year, we've been involved in internships and work experience programmes with students here in Scotland. And we're also looking into ways in which we can make opportunities like these available to a wider audience, giving young language learners everywhere the chance to find out more about how language skills can improve career opportunities. While we're talking about outreach, I'd like to hand over to my colleague Christina, who's going to tell you a little more about another aspect of our work.
As our team has grown, we have been able to do more as a company to give back and participate in charitable initiatives. We've been involved in a number of projects to help charities that are important to us. Over recent years, a huge amount of work has been done to try to eradicate homelessness in Scotland, and as a Glasgow-based company, we wanted to support this mission. With this in mind, we chose to support a charity that works to combat the causes and effects of homelessness in various locations, including Glasgow. And so far, we have organised food collections, clothing donations, and various members of the team have given a helping hand at the charity's warehouse. On an international level, we support organisations working with dementia. Now, some research has shown that learning another language can help delay the onset of dementia, so we felt this was an appropriate cause to support. During Dementia Action Week, we launched a quiz which the Radiolingua team took part in, along with various other businesses that work in our building. And we shared this quiz with the Coffee Break community, and we're delighted to donate the funds to an international dementia support organisation. We also support all of our team members who participate in individual events by contributing to the charities they're supporting. We've really enjoyed taking part in these initiatives and are looking forward to continuing to support various charities.
Thanks, Christina, and thanks also to the Coffee Break community for your support in these developments. Okay, so much for looking back over the past year. It's now time to look forward and to talk about some developments. As our invitation suggests, now we're back to get some more. And I'm sure there's definitely a sense of expectation hanging in the air. If we traditionally read the morning paper going into town, perhaps the perfect addition to your commute is listening to our magazine podcasts. As I mentioned earlier, we've been publishing a full season of our French and Italian magazines this year, and our German magazine reaches episode 6 this evening. But we're delighted to announce a brand new season of the Coffee Break Spanish magazine, which launches with an introductory episode today. And episode 1 will go live next Friday, the 15th of November. We've been listening to your comments, and with the Coffee Break Spanish magazine, our cultural focus will alternate between Spain's Spanish themes and Latin American themes. My co-host for the show is Fernanda, who's from Chile, and we'll also be joined by Anabel from Spain and Sofia from Panama throughout the series. Here's a quick taster of the show. Hola a todos y bienvenidos a este primer episodio del Coffee Break Spanish Magazine. Yo soy Mark.
Hola, yo soy Fernanda.
Buenos días, Fernanda.
Buenos días, Mark. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien, gracias.
Pues estoy súper contento de que estés aquí con nosotros.
Muchas gracias. Una reunión.
Una reunión. As you've heard, I'll be joined by Fernanda for each episode, but we'll also be joined by Sofia from Panama and by Anabel from Spain. And they'll be sharing the cultures of the Spanish-speaking world through our texts.
Sí, entonces escuchemos a Sofía ahora.
¿Están listos? Vamos. ¿Piensas que el fútbol es importante solo en Europa? Pues estás equivocado. A pesar que este deporte fue originado en Inglaterra, en Latinoamérica es el más importante. Todo comenzó cuando los británicos...
Let's hear also from Anabel.
¿Alguna vez habéis visto un astronauta o un dragón comiéndose un helado en la fachada de una catedral del siglo XVII? Si la respuesta es no, tal vez sea porque no...
In each episode of the magazine, we'll be sharing a text and then discussing that text in detail, going through the language and the grammar and the vocabulary covered. We'll also be sharing a question from one of our listeners. The Coffee Break Spanish magazine begins on Friday, the 15th of November 2019, and we can't wait to get started. Thanks for listening.
Gracias.
Hasta luego.
Nos vemos.
Y hasta muy pronto. The episodes of the Coffee Break Spanish magazine will be free, and you'll be able to access them in the podcast feed if you're already subscribed to Coffee Break Spanish. In addition, we'll also have a premium version of the show, which will offer transcripts and notes, along with exercises and vocabulary lists. Now, we've just added the vocabulary lists for the whole of Season 1 of the French and Italian magazines, and this runs to over 70 pages with over 1,000 items of vocabulary, 1,000 new words and phrases. So that just goes to show how rich the vocabulary is, which features in the magazine lessons. One small thing, we previously released 2 seasons of the Coffee Break Spanish magazine. It was a slightly different format back in 2014, but to avoid any confusion, we're calling this new season, Season 3 of the Coffee Break Spanish magazine. So, the magazine Season 3 will be available from Friday the 15th of November in the Coffee Break Academy and on the Coffee Break Spanish podcast feed. Okay, let's talk about our website for a moment and focus on one area we've been working on this year. We firmly believe that an excellent way to increase your vocabulary and understanding of the grammar of the language is to listen to some music. To this end, earlier in the year, we launched our Tune for Tuesday feature on the site. Every Tuesday, we share a piece of music or a song in a different language, along with background information and links to the lyrics. We've been adding these to a playlist on both Spotify and YouTube, helping you to build your musical and cultural knowledge while listening to some good music at the same time. We're going to be taking this theme a bit further, and today we're launching a new blog series on the website where we've chosen some of our favourite songs in specific languages, songs which are particularly useful for learners, perhaps because of the vocabulary they use or because they show great examples of particular words or phrases. The series starts with Italian today, and we're also including a new Spotify playlist specifically for our favourite Italian songs. We'll continue with other languages in the coming weeks. Learning a language can be a wonderful adventure, and this adventure undertaken by learners is exactly what we focus on in our Coffee Breakers section of the website, where we share stories from the Coffee Break community. We've had lots of feedback suggesting this is an area you really enjoy. People love finding out about people, especially when you have a shared interest or experience learning a language. So we've decided to take this to the next level and start a new podcast. Beginning early next year, Coffee Break Conversations will be an interview show where I'm talking to our coffee breakers, finding out why they're learning the language, how they're learning the language, sharing challenges and successes. We'll also be including Coffee Break Conversations with people who work in languages, experts in linguistics, specialists in travel or culture, and much more. And this is where we need your help. If you'd like to join me for a chat about language learning, in which we can find out your story and why you're learning a language, let us know. There will be a link on the website after this presentation where you can tell us a bit about your story, and we can hopefully get in touch to record a future episode of our new show. Tired of TV? Had enough of Netflix? Well, we have loads of video content for language learners on our YouTube channel, and we're delighted to be announcing some new additions today. First of all, something for our German learners. Anyone who has followed the Coffee Break German series or our Coffee Break German to Go series here on YouTube will recognise our cultural correspondent Julia. Julia is from Potsdam to the southwest of Berlin, and today we're delighted to publish a special video filmed earlier this year in which Julia takes me on a trip to Potsdam. Unser Tag in Potsdam will be available today on our YouTube channel. But that's not all. In fact, we're launching not one, but 2 brand new series on YouTube. Coffee Break Italian to Go and Coffee Break French to Go. In these series, you can join Francesca on the streets of Milan and Pierre Benoit back in his hometown of Pornic. And they'll be talking to native speakers. But rather than me tell you about this, let me hand you over to our hosts of Coffee Break Italian and Coffee Break French.
Thank you, Mark. And Francesca and I are delated about the launch of Coffee Break French to go.
And Coffee Break Italian to go.
Can you tell us more about this project, please, Francesca?
Of course, we went to Milan, a lovely city in the north of Italy, interviewing real Italians, so people from Milan, but also holiday makers, people who live in Milan. So it was the opportunity to just get to know real Italians.
Oh, lovely, and get different accents, because
of course,
we were the same. We filmed in my hometown of Pornic, and it was nice to hear people from Belgium, from the east of France, from the north of France.
Fantastic.
And I think that's what is good about those questions. You get a variety of accent, a variety of structures, some basic and others a wee bit more kind of complicated or complex.
Yes.
Yeah. So and I think that was very good for that.
That's good. What is good about Coffee Break Italian and French to go is that for each episode we are asking only one question, but we are receiving multiple answers, and they're really rich in vocabulary, idiomatic expressions, accents, which makes Coffee Break Italian and French to go a really interesting new series.
And different. So I'm sure you will enjoy it. But just now, it's back to you, Mark. Au revoir.
Ciao!
Grazie mille, Francesca, et merci beaucoup, Pierre-Benoit. Now, we thought we would share this with you today, so we've mashed up a bit of Coffee Break French and a bit of Coffee Break Italian to go into one promo. Obviously, they're different series, but for this little promo, there's some French and Italian together here. So let's have a look.
Bonjour à tous, et oui, c'est parti pour de nouvelles aventures de Coffee Break French.
Ciao a tutti e benvenuti a Coffee Break Italian to go.
Ma question aujourd'hui est la suivante. D'où viens-tu?
La domanda di oggi è: dove abiti?
Quelle langue parles-tu?
Cosa fai nel tempo libero?
Comment vas-tu?
Quali lingue parli?
Qu'est-ce que tu fais comme travail?
Qual è il suo sport preferito?
Je viens de Loire-Atlantique.
Vicino Milano, 15 km da qui, a Bollate.
Français et un petit peu anglais.
Et italien?
Et italien. Et allemand.
20 anni.
E io 55.
Je ne pratique pas de sport.
Il mio compleanno è il 26 marzo, invece il compleanno di Pietro è il 14 dicembre.
Ho fatto tante feste.
E facciamo tante feste.
Très bien.
Molto bene.
Il ne me reste plus qu'à vous dire au revoir et à la prochaine pour un autre épisode de Coffee Break French to go.
Allora è tutto per oggi e arrivederci a presto per una nuova puntata di Coffee Break Italian to go.
Coffee Break Italian to go will be published on Tuesdays and Coffee Break French to go on Wednesdays. And the promos are already on our YouTube channel, along with a longer interview with Pierre-Benoit and Francesca in which they talk about their experience filming earlier this year. Okay, so far we've announced a new season of the Coffee Break Spanish magazine, a brand new podcast, Coffee Break Conversations, a new blog series on our website, and new content on YouTube for German, French and Italian learners. But stay tuned, there's more to come. Let's turn our attention to the Coffee Break family of courses. Coffee Break Spanish was first released in October 2006, and since then we've added French, German, Italian and Mandarin Chinese to the family. Now we get requests for new Coffee Break courses almost every day, and there's one request in particular which we've received many times since we started the business. So today we're extremely excited to announce that we are taking on a new dimension. Coffee Break English for Spanish speakers will launch early in 2020. And it's just the start of a whole new area for us. Let's explain a bit more.
Hola a todos, me llamo Mark y seré su profesor de inglés en Coffee Break English.
Y yo soy María y estaré aprendiendo con ustedes desde el principio. Yo no sé mucho inglés y no se preocupen si ustedes no saben ni una palabra, ya que estaremos con ustedes durante esta nueva aventura.
Estamos muy emocionados de lanzar este nuevo proyecto, ya que desde hace más de 10 años hemos logrado enseñarle español a millones de personas por todo el mundo con Coffee Break Spanish. Y ahora ha llegado el momento de hacerlo al revés.
Podrán aprender inglés con nosotros desde enero 2020 y tenemos muchas ganas de empezar. Pero Mark, ¿cómo se dice hasta pronto?
Hasta pronto sería see you soon.
See you soon.
See you soon. Hasta pronto.
See you soon.
So as you can see, this version of Coffee Break English will be presented in Spanish. So perhaps if you're a Coffee Break Spanish listener, you can tune in to practice your listening. Of course, it's just the beginning, and we have lots of projects in the pipeline to help English learners around the world improve their mastery of English. We are really excited about this project and can't wait to launch our 6th Coffee Break language next year. Now, of course, Coffee Break Languages has been built on the idea that it's possible to learn another language while doing something else, like on your commute, while you're walking the dog, at the gym, or on your coffee break. The process of working on a new language is really exciting for us. It means building a new team, writing the course, designing new graphics, coming up with new theme music. And we like this process so much that we've decided to launch not only a 6th Coffee Break language, but a 7th one too. Yeah, here we go again. But which language? We're talking about a language that's spoken by about 9.5 million people. Hundreds of thousands of people in the US alone can trace their roots back to speakers of this language. It's a Germanic language, so it's closely linked to English and German, and words which have made it into English from this language include moped, gravlax, and tungsten. Speakers of this language have included Ingmar Bergman, the film director, Astrid Lindgren of Pippi Longstocking fame, the tennis player Björn Borg, and of course we can't forget Benny, Björn, Agneta and Frida of ABBA. We are of course talking about Swedish, svenska. And there's even a word for coffee break in Swedish. Fika. Swedish is a fantastic language and it's really quite easy to learn. If you speak Swedish, then you'll understand lots of Norwegian and Danish too, so it's like getting 3 for the price of 1. Coffee Break Swedish will be for absolute beginners, and you can master the language using our regular podcasts, videos and online courses.
Hej allihopa! Jag heter Hanna och jag är er svenska lärare. I've been teaching Swedish for many years and I'm so excited to be involved in this project. Now, here's the good news. As Mark said, Swedish is a quite easy language to learn. We have easy grammar, easy pronunciation and a fascinating culture.
And that's where I come in. Jag heter Emma, jag är från Stockholm och min roll på Coffee Break Swedish är att lära er om vår svenska kultur. We're going to be talking about Swedish cities, Swedish food, Swedish traditions, and there'll no doubt be a bit of Swedish music thrown in there for good measure.
So we'll see you soon. Vi ses snart for the first lesson of Coffee Break Swedish.
Hej då!
Coffee Break Swedish, coming soon from Coffee Break Languages. We couldn't resist 1 or 2 or 10 ABBA references over the course of this event, pointing to the launch of our latest Coffee Break course. As ever, Coffee Break Swedish podcasts will be free, and we'll have a premium version of the course in the Academy. We're thrilled to be growing our range of Coffee Break courses, and today we've announced a huge amount of new content coming your way. For German learners, our ongoing magazine and new YouTube content. For Spanish learners, the brand new Coffee Break Spanish Magazine podcast. For French learners, new video content in the shape of Coffee Break French to Go, and the same To Go series for Italian learners. New blog articles, Coffee Break Conversations, a brand new interview podcast, Coffee Break number 6, an English course for Spanish speakers, and Coffee Break number 7, a new course in Swedish. We hope you're as excited as we are about these announcements, although perhaps there's time for just one more, and it would only be right to have one more ABBA reference too. Voulez-vous encore un peu de Coffee Break French? Would you like some more Coffee Break French? With our 4 series of Coffee Break French, we've helped you build your knowledge of the language, and by the time we've reached season 4, we're dealing with a very high level of language using complex grammar and idiomatic expressions. But there's always more to learn, and that's why we're working on Coffee Break French season 5. Let's have a listen.
La serrure de la porte avait été forcée et la lampe sur la petite table dans le hall d'entrée avait été renversée. Des petits bouts d'ampoule brisées gisaient sur le parquet. Son cœur battant la chamade, James cria à plusieurs reprises « Max! Max !» Mais l'appartement était vide. Du moins, il en avait l'air, puisqu'il n'y avait pas âme qui vive et toujours aucun signe de Max. James se précipita dans le salon et s'aperçut que la porte-fenêtre qui donne sur le balcon était grande ouverte. Il fonça dans la cuisine et hésita un instant devant le bloc de couteaux, mais se dit que c'était idiot et qu'il fallait trouver Max par-dessus tout. James se mit à inspecter le reste de l'appartement et vit que rien n'avait été saccagé. Finalement, sans trop y croire, il entrouvit la porte du bureau et distingua comme une ombre dans l'obscurité. Il alluma la lumière et ne put s'empêcher de pousser un petit cri de joie et de soulagement en apercevant son ami. Max était là, inanimé, affalé sur son bureau devant son ordi allumé. James se rua vers lui et le prit aussitôt dans ses bras. Il respirait à peine, mais il était vivant, Dieu merci. Max murmura tout bas « James, je savais que tu viendrais. » James réalisa que Max avait du mal à respirer, et donc il le redressa et le remit dans son fauteuil pour qu'il soit plus à l'aise. C'est là qu'il vit qu'il avait du sang partout sur sa chemise et qu'il avait été poignardé. « Max, Max, mais que s'est-il passé? Qui t'a fait ça? Ça va aller, les secours arrivent. » James entendit Max lui dire tout bas « James, tiens, tout y est. Garde ça précieusement. N'en parle à personne. Il y va de ta vie. » Et il lui glissa dans la main une clé USB.
As you can hear, we're now dealing with a very high level of language, so it will really challenge you, and we think you're going to love it. This is the type of French you would read in a novel, and we're deliberately creating the course in this way to help you push yourself. Let's hear more about Coffee Break French Season 5 from Pierre Benoit.
You're going to love this. Bonjour à tous, this is Coffee Break French Season 5. Now, I'd love to tell you about the story a wee bit more, but I don't want to spoil it. But I'll just tell you, it's got lots of characters, it's got lots of action, intrigue, and I know you're going to love it, because I love it. The most important thing will be the language. We're going to take you to another level, a higher level of French. You're going to be able to improve your knowledge of French even more. And obviously you'll have lots of vocabulary, idiomatic expressions, and grammar points you probably never heard of. So we're delighted to be working on it just now, and we'll be launching it very, very soon. And if you don't mind just now, I just want to go back to this chapter because I want to know what's happening. Au revoir.
Coffee Break French Season 5 will be available in the Coffee Break Academy early in 2020. Each episode will feature a chapter of the story, and we'll be on hand to talk you through the whole chapter, focusing on the tricky grammar and providing further examples of the expressions used. Like any story, there will be plenty of description, allowing you to increase your vocabulary and preparing you for reading more French novels. But there will also be plenty of dialogue, so you'll be exposed to spoken French too. We are so excited to be launching Coffee Break French Season 5 very soon. So that really is it for our announcements today. There are, of course, other projects we're working on, and we'll be continuing to share our love of language learning with you in the coming weeks, months and years. Make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter and keep up with us on social media for all our latest news. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel too. Of course, behind all of this content is a great bunch of people, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the whole Coffee Break team for all their hard work in getting us ready for a new year of language learning, and of course for being involved in today's event. We can't wait for you to enjoy this new chapter in the Coffee Break story. So, there you have it. That is our collection of announcements for today, for our special event here on YouTube. And we hope that you have enjoyed this. We hope that you're pleased with all of the announcements, that there is something for you in there. I've been watching the comments as we've been going through this, and there's a huge number of comments, and I'm going to try and go through some of them. I know that some of you have got some questions, and I'm happy to answer them. But we wanted to get the main part of the presentation all done first before we actually started talking about the questions. It's fantastic to see so many people commenting, and to hear so much excitement about language learning in general, of course, and also excitement about our new courses. So I don't quite know whether I'm going to be able to do this, because I think I can maybe put some of the comments on the screen. They're coming in so fast. So Jonas is saying, really exciting announcements, all of it. Thank you very kindly to Mark and the Coffee Break team. I think I read, Jonas, that you're Norwegian, so I will say tack skal du ha. Let's see something else. We've got Marie, who's saying good luck with all the exciting new initiatives. Thank you, Marie. Karen has just disappeared here. I'm still working in season 2 of Coffee Break Italian. There seems to be a lot of resources with the magazine and other videos. Absolutely. So some people are asking about Coffee Break Italian season 3 or Coffee Break Italian magazine and so on. There will, of course, be more content. We can't do everything at once, but we will, of course, be adding new content later. Super Rodhull said, great work, Mark, and the team at Coffee Break Languages, and I really would like to reinforce the fact that this is a team effort. We've been all very, very busy working on all of this, and it's great to be able to release it and to announce it to everyone. ED is saying, fantastic, more French and Italian for me, and now Swedish for my cousin too. Lots of interest in Swedish. We're delighted to see that. We also have, let me see, I'm just scrolling through things. Grace is saying, je ne savais pas que Pierre Benoit soit un acteur aussi. Oh yes, I think he enjoyed doing the story reading as well. Someone was talking about, don't believe there's an Italian product by Coffee Break Languages at this level, when I think Stephen was referring to the Coffee Break 5 for French, where we're talking about a book and so on. Obviously at this stage with Coffee Break Italian we've just done season 2, and at the end of season 2 there was certainly a story there, and story is something that we feel is very important for language learning, and that is definitely something that will feature in the future content for Coffee Break Italian. Let's have a look at some other comments. A few comments for other languages. I think some of you are hoping for other languages. Obviously, we've announced English for Spanish speakers today and Swedish today. That doesn't mean to say that there aren't other plans. Of course, we need to take things gradually. Putting together a Coffee Break course is a huge amount of work. It basically takes normally over a year to get a course from the start of the course, and then build all the content, record everything, produce all the additional resources. So it is a long process, and we are working through that for English, for Spanish speakers initially, and obviously for Swedish too. Mayokum, I think that's Marilyn, is saying, I took a break from my work just to watch this. Thank you for joining us, Marilyn. Sophie is saying, is there a plan to do anything with Dutch? Well, again, we've launched what we've launched today. That's not necessarily something that we're launching at the moment, but there may well be Dutch in the future. Alan says, an absolutely brilliant programme. Thank you, Alan. I like this comment from Brian. Merci molto. Me gusta alles, das you announced. Also, vielen thanks. Thanks for Brian. Nicole is saying Coffee Break Conversations looks super cool, so looking forward to that. Well, Nicole, and indeed anyone else, if you're interested in taking part in Coffee Break Conversations, then let us know. So what else? So Alison is asking a very good question. Just to clarify, can everything be accessed through the website or YouTube? Yes, basically all of our content is available on our website at coffeebreaklanguages.com. And our video content is on YouTube. You can also access all our podcasts via a podcast app, for example, the Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you're already subscribed to our podcast, so for example, if you're already subscribed to Coffee Break Spanish, then the Coffee Break Spanish magazine season will automatically be delivered to you when it goes out. In fact, there's one going out, the preview episode is going out tonight, and then the main episode 1 will go out next Friday, so that will automatically come to you if you're subscribed to the podcast. In addition, we have other materials, and they're available on the Coffee Break Academy, and that's where you get access to the lesson notes, the vocabulary, the exercises, and so on. What else? We've had quite a lot of comments about the mugs that you saw in the background of the studio, and also just behind me here. In fact, I've just realised I've got a Coffee Break Swedish mug on the shelf there, and I should perhaps have taken that down, although it is quite blurred. So I don't think you'll have noticed that before we launched Swedish. But you can buy mugs. They're not quite the same as the ones that we have, but you can definitely buy mugs, and we will put another link in the comments for this video, so that you can access those, and we'll also put a link to our mugs in the next newsletter that's going out. Now, if you're not already subscribed to our newsletter, then make sure you are. You can access that at radiolingua.com/newsletter. Now, I am just going to see if I can put a link to this in the comments. Let's see if this works. Yeah, so hopefully you'll be able to see that. And you are able to click on that and access our newsletter. So the newsletter update will go out tomorrow once we've got everything sorted. Okay, so just a couple of other comments here. We're going to have to finish in a few minutes, but we've got Peter who's asking, comment s'abonner à Coffee Break French 5? Well, it's going to be coming out in the new year, so there's no sign up for it yet or anything like that. Just keep an eye on the website and of course on your email, and we will be adding what we're going to add sign up pages on the website later, where you can add your email to be notified exactly when Coffee Break French 5, Coffee Break Swedish, Coffee Break English, and the Coffee Break Conversations, if you're interested in being involved in any of them. Francesca è la mia insegnante preferita a Coffee Break. Mi dispiace, Mark. Non c'è problema. Grazie, Grace. anche me. Francesca is also my favourite Italian teacher, so I think that's absolutely fine. Jackie's saying it would be good to have English for Italian speakers. I love Coffee Break Italian, perhaps in the future. Sophie, thank you for answering. Okay, I've been listening to Coffee Break French for so long, all of the podcasts, and they're amazing, helped me to progress so much. Now I'm speaking with my French boyfriend and his family, et tout le monde sera très content, je pense. Jonas is saying, I feel like Mandarin isn't mentioned nearly as much on the Instagram page as the other languages. Is there a reason for that? Like in the posts where you highlight vocab from different languages. Well, we had a Coffee Break Chinese Mandarin Season 1 series, and we had Chinese colleagues working with us at that point. And then when we finished Season 1, our colleagues were no longer working with us. So it's something that we're looking at, considering to bring in more Chinese in the future. But at the moment, we don't have anyone in the office with us who is a Chinese speaker. And so that is why, Jonas. Buenos días de San Francisco. I'm greatly enjoying Coffee Break Spanish and all the resources available on YouTube. Thank you. And someone else is saying the Coffee Break Reading Club is the best thing ever. I get so much cultural content and reading practice. So if you're not aware of the Reading Club, that's definitely something else you should check out. Okay. Yeah, Buen Camino is saying link how to apply to be interviewed. That will be on our website later. So if you go to coffeebreaklanguages.com a little later on, sorry, I've just noticed another comment there. If you go to the website later on, you'll be able to sign up to be interviewed. We've got a comment from my friend Chris, who's saying skjutbullar or kanelbullar. I would have to say kanelbullar. So do you like meatballs or cinnamon buns? I think I would go for the cinnamon buns or cinnamon balls, I guess. But yeah, I think you're trying to trick me out there, Chris. So there we go. Thank you all for joining us today. It has been fantastic. It is definitely our biggest ever event. We have 747 people watching at the moment. And it has been great to spend some time with you, answering some questions and obviously sharing all this fantastic new information. We're really excited about the next chapter, as we said, and we can't wait to get started. Everything is coming soon, starting with the next episode of Coffee Break German Magazine in about an hour's time. And then Coffee Break Spanish Magazine tonight too, and that's the preview edition. And then next Tuesday, Coffee Break Italian to go. Also today is the Coffee Break German trip to Potsdam. That's the video trip to Potsdam with me and Julia. That's also going out on the YouTube channel tonight. So Coffee Break Italian to go next Tuesday, Coffee Break French to go next Wednesday. And then we will go ahead with next Friday, Coffee Break Spanish Magazine Episode 1. And the topic of that is football in Latin America. So if you're a football fan and a Spanish learner, then you'll be enjoying that episode. Okay, I think that's it. We are going to leave it there. Thank you once again for everything. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for staying till the end. It's been fantastic to see so many of you here. Don't forget to subscribe to our Coffee Break Languages channel here on YouTube. Don't forget also to sign up to our Instagram. On Instagram, we've just gone over 10,000. Literally this afternoon, we went over 10,000 followers on Instagram. So we're delighted about that too. And also make sure you subscribe to the newsletter, and that way you will get your links update tomorrow once we've got this all finalised in the next few hours. Thank you. It's time to say goodbye. I'm going to get one more ABBA reference in here. You probably are aware of my love for ABBA with all these references all in with our Coffee Break Swedish launch, but it is Friday night. The lights are getting low, so I am going to say merci, vielen Dank, 谢谢, tack så mycket, grazie molte, muchísimas gracias, merci beaucoup. I think that's about it for now. And now I need to find the right button to press to end the show. Thank you for joining us, and bye-bye.